Kamar, how's practice today?
Hot.
Yeah.
No, it was a good practice. We got after it, one of the ones, it's that time, everybody was dialed in, everybody, we know what we want, so it was a good day. Still got stuff to work on, clean up, but for the most part, it was a good day.
I was gonna ask what the vibe like was with the guys this week, coming off of week 1 and a big game in week 2.
Yeah, we got here, we watched the tape, we put it behind us, and we moving on to our first home opener. Nobody was surprised, we say we were gonna do something and we did it, and now we just gotta build from it. We can't go in the wrong direction. We just gotta continue to get better and, keep building.
How did you feel about the way you guys played overall in the season opener against A&M?
I feel like we played well, but, we didn't get the job done, we lost. But like I said, we just focusing on getting better. We put that game behind us, and we focused on Texas State.
What did you see from the offensive line in that game with kind of 2 new starters at guard and how you guys played as a unit?
I wasn't surprised. Like I told y'all in the summer, we got guys that can play anywhere at any time, so everybody, next man up, everybody stepped up and we did what we were supposed to do.
What was the key to getting the run game going, get Robert breaking free?
Running it. We said we're going to run the ball. That's our intention, to run the ball. We ran the ball. We knew when we was coming in the game, who we had up front. We got good chemistry as an O-line, and it showed, so we just got to build on it and grow from it.
Can you tell me a little bit more about those guys? What stands out about Trevor first and what he brings to your offensive line group?
Trevor can play everywhere. He can go guard, tackle, right guard, center. He a smart football player. Like, he can really memorize up front and let you know what's coming. So that helped me. He told me, like, hey, and that helped me play even more faster, or just communication, build confidence. And, I'm glad I got Trevor next to me, a good player.
How about Darryl? What does he show?
Big Rel?
Yeah.
Big Rel, we from the same city, so I was really happy that, that he was out there with me, putting on for the city of Baltimore. But he bring that passion, he bring that violence, he keep you on your toes. We be having to tell him, like, Big Rel, calm down, because he never been in an environment like this, so it was new to him, and he ain't surprised me, but I was happy to see how he held his composure and everything in that environment, because I told him what it would be like, but you really don't know until you get there. So Big Rel, he bring a lot. He the same way, smart player, asks questions, he asks the right questions, and he point out what you might not see. So he's a good player as well.
I didn't realize you guys had that connection going back to the Baltimore area. Did you know him at all before?
No, I didn't know him. He a few years behind me, but our high schools played each other. So before I transferred, I played his high school my whole 3 years at that one high school. Then I transferred, and I ain't know Big Rel, but he knew who I was when I got here. Coming from Baltimore and everything. It's a big city, but it's a small city.
Was he at that high school at the same time as you guys were having those games?
He's probably a freshman.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, he was young.
At least being at the same game is a funny coincidence.
Yeah.
I want to ask you about how you thought Ben played at center.
Ben held his own. He especially transitioning from guard back to center in that short bit of time. He held his own. You could see a difference in his game. He moving faster. He pointing out things. He seeing things, and he poised with it. He not no panic. He just he stood tall, 10 toes, and got the job done.
What are the biggest challenges that Texas State's defense is going to throw at you guys?
They're a good team. They got a lot of good players. They do a lot of things up front. In the back end, they move players around. They just a good defense. As long as we do what we need to do, everything gonna work itself out.
What do you remember about last year's game?
They embarrassed us. So that's the biggest thing I took from it. Coming as a competitor, they beat us up front. You get what I'm saying? So, we stuck that in our back pocket, and like I said, we just working to get better, and we know what we're coming for.
Do you guys talk about that loss at all this week, or use it as motivation? Does it come up in your meetings?
I don't think nobody ever let it go. You know what I'm saying? It's a big rivalry game, for the 2 towns, the city, and everybody wants to see what's going to happen. So, like I said, we just focusing on getting better, keeping our eyes on Texas State. We left that last game behind us, and we've been Texas State. We're not looking too far ahead, and we're not looking behind. We just stand in the moment.
I wanted to touch on that rivalry aspect. What have you learned in your time here about what this game means to the fan bases and the schools?
It mean a lot. You can see everybody posting about it, everybody tweeting about it. You get what I'm saying? So I'm excited to be back home and see all the people come out, support us, and watch us put on a show for them.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thanks.